Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. Wow. Oh my God, this was the best screening ever. What does it say? Thank you. Come on, I'm going to bring everybody out here that worked on the film. The executive producer of the film and my Berlin Wall buddy, Rob Burleson. The two producers of the film, the people that made it happen, Carl Deal and Tia Lesson. The field producer of the, here we go, the archival producer of the film, from Saginaw, Michigan, Christine Fall. The field producer of the film, from Traverse City, Michigan, Jen Jennings. And one of the associate producers, my sister, Veronica Moore. So I think we're gonna, we're gonna sit so we can kind of see the screen. I guess we can't see the screen all. Well, we'll just, we'll figure this out. And Rod's from Ypsilanti, Michigan. Now living in Rochester, Michigan. So Michigan, we have an affirmative action program on my films for Michiganders. Oh my God, it's so great to be sitting up here with you guys. It's very
likewise.
It's very cool. And these guys. And let's hear for our friends here. Woo! Norway, Iceland, Finland, Germany, Slovenia, and Tunisia. Wow, this is incredible. So, they have watched the film at the same exact time that we've watched it, and they're here from these 6 countries. We have 6 up here, right? How many? 1, 2, 3.
Tunisia will be back in a minute.
Tunisia will be back. Iceland, we lost, and Portugal, Italy, and France. But not bad though. We're doing good, right? Don't you think? They're all there, and they could hear us, but we may not be able to see a couple of them. But thank you, all of you, for joining us, all the audiences there. You're here with a group of 600 plus people in Traverse City, Michigan, which is in the middle west of this country. And we're very happy to have you join us, and I'm thrilled and so grateful again for you being here. Let me just start. I'll just start by just asking maybe the crew if they want to say a couple things about the making of the film, and then we'll open it to your questions and to the questions from these 9, I guess, other countries, 4 of which we can see on the screen. You guys want to add anything or say anything? Hi, Chris.
I think I would just like to thank Michael for making this beautiful film. And for bringing us on this journey. Some of us have been on this journey for many years with Michael. We finished the film in September for the Toronto Film Festival, and watching it now, almost a year later, it's remarkable how so timely and resonant the film still feels, and it's just the issues of the day that need to be discussed and felt, and laughter and tears together. It's extraordinary.
I got a real chill watching the portraits that we did of the Icelandic women, less than 12 hours from last night, and I'm famously, of course, I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton this year or last time, but I was so in tears last night watching that. It was so amazing and such a great historical moment for this country, and now we know the work ahead of us, right? But just to watch this and to remember all the women we interviewed and all the women we met in these other countries, it was very powerful. Powerful experiencing when it's not tokenism. That's what felt so weird, wasn't it, when we were doing this. So how does it feel to be in Traverse City and sitting up here?
Is this on?
it's very weird. I, of course, had the most wonderful adventure of my life, but I just want to say to all the people that are attending the film festival is that 11 years ago, because I didn't make it for the first year, I signed up to be a volunteer at the film festival, not knowing that I would be up here on this day. It's been a life-changing experience, and if it speaks volumes to any kind of volunteerism in the world, I would say, you know, go out there and just find something that you love and just do it, because you might end up on stage with Mike Moore. But it's...
And you spent part of your childhood in Braun. So even, right? It's all possible.
But it's truly an honor to be here, and what a wonderful homecoming to be able to screen this very special film in this beautiful theater in our hometown, and being truly a small town girl from the area. So this is overwhelming for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much. And Veronica, my sister, one of us is a vegan. I'm not going to say which one. But obviously we've known each other all our lives. But this was really the first time you'd actually come shooting with me, and you and your daughter, one of your daughters. So what was that like to be out there doing that?
It was such a great experience to see from the beginning to the end the whole process, and meeting the people and being with the experience of the people living in all of the countries that we went to actually feel what they're feeling and see what they're doing was just amazing, and it has actually affected my life here this last year, and you know, just how I want to be in the world. So.
I remember you sat in the room when we interviewed Tron up here, Tron High.
Right.
And I looked over at you at one point during the interview, and you were crying, essentially.
Right. I don't know if you can see me or not, but
I could see you.
yeah, that has affected my life, I think, more than any other experience I've ever had. To listen to him and to see how he has taken the experience that he went through and has lived his life from that. And it's just, you know, it was really a powerful moment there.
And the lack of desire to commit an act of violence, which
Right.
everyone in here would probably think he would have a right to.
Right.
I mean, everyone would at least understand.
Right.
And yet, I couldn't push him to that.
No. And you could feel that was a part of, I think, from the society that he lived in, that it was a part of him, that it was a part of a way of life and a part of being. It was just,
And Rod worked on Roger and me. That's how long we've worked together here. And
Long time.
Long time. It was really great to have you there at the Berlin Wall, that 25. To tell you the truth, we did not plan to put that in the movie. We just went there so that there would be like a filmed record 25 years later was back on the walls to give to the grandkids or whatever.
The Germans were worried, oh, you do not have a permit. There is no permit. And he said, well, just pull a van over, we'll get out, and maybe they'll make a stop. And we just did it naturally. We just talked and truthfully to each other, and that's what came out. And actually, the film is just sort of, for me, you talked about it for so long, and it's kind of a dream come true to show that if these countries can do these things, we can do them here. There's no reason to think for a minute that because we're a big country, we can't do it, we're not too big to do it, we're not too small to do it. We've got plenty of money. We can do every one of these things up here and make a better world. And it just seemed like such a big movie to make. And then you figured out how to do it in a few weeks, and it was so cool.
We only put 3 weeks of thought into this movie. There was no seriously.
But we're big thinkers. So.
But we are, yes. Well, and we've done this. I mean, Carl and Tina, you started working on TV Nation with me in 1994. And Chris has been around since Bowling for Columbine or Fahrenheit 9/11, somewhere in there. End of
Awful Truth.
Awful. Yeah, you worked on the Awful Truth. Yeah, no, we did this in my living room basically for 3 weeks, and then we just got out of
Nice living room.
Yeah.
Your living room.
Yeah, and then we got on a plane and went and shot it in 5 weeks, and boom.
Yeah.
And we have these incredible editors that are just amazing.
Yes, the editor.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
One of whom is from this area.
which
Sorry, our DP, Rick.
the Rick Raleigh, one of our 2 directors of photography, is from Mansalona. His parents live in Alden now. So yes, Gron and Mansalona, your voices can be heard. But yeah, no, it's really, and you from Saginaw. What high school did you go to? I keep forgetting the name of it.
MacArthur, Douglas MacArthur. It's no longer there. I was the last graduating class, and we had the lowest overall GPA in the history of the school. But, you know.
That's the kind of thing you remember?
Shut it down.
We shut it down. But yeah, it was so amazing watching this now. Things that hit me so differently. I mean, the election in Iceland, and they're saying, you know what, we've had enough. We're going to hire a comic to make a statement. He got elected. He actually did a fine job. He served, he took the position. That hit me very differently this time, in the midst of our current election and the state of the country and how people are feeling, and I understand, but that really was like, whoa, okay. And then, you know, the violence against the citizens of this country, watching that footage. And at the time we made this, you know, you kind of wanted to think that was an anomaly. I mean, it wasn't an anomaly, but how many times more now are we? How many more of those scenes have we seen play out?
And I want to point out, it's all the archival footage you see in this, and finding that incredible footage that you don't see on the evening news. That credits Chris Fall that found all this footage in the film. That's her job. And Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit and my other films, both Carl and Tia were like the geniuses that found so much of that found footage. It's really. Why don't we go to some questions here? Now, are these from these people here? Can they talk to us, or? They can talk to you. They can talk to us, and then these cards. Oh, and these came in through Twitter. From all 9 countries that are watching this with us right now. Oh my God Almighty! Okay, let's quickly go through some of this. Why don't we start with you, Amel, in Tunisia? Thank you very much, and thanks everybody in Tunisia there who's watching this right now. First of all, I feel, you know, all of us, I mean, have been feeling very bad about what you've had to suffer through in the last year with the acts of terrorism and things that have been going on there, and the struggle in democracy and trying to make it work. How are things going with the Arab Spring began in Tunisia? It's had a hard time in other countries, but you're still this democracy, this shining light there in North Africa. Is there sound? Yeah, hang on. I heard her just sigh for a second. So, hang on 1 second, Amel. Okay, Amel, hold for just 1 second. We're going to fix your sound. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Trond, why don't we go to you in Norway? It's so good to see you again, and thank you for participating in this. And here in the theater in the U.S., when we watched it just now, when you say that about no matter how badly you feel about this individual who committed this crime, that you would not stoop to his level to want to take his life, and everyone in the theater applauded you here. It was a very powerful moment. are you doing now? How is your family doing, and how are things?
Well, my family's doing quite all right, Michael. Actually, my wife and me, we are in Mallorca on vacation.
Where do you say he is?
And I gotta say,
Mallorca.
I'm calling you from Mallorca, and it's beautiful weather. And I'd also like to say hello to my friends in Kristiansand, all the people from the bibliothek in Kristiansand, because they're watching me. So they're watching you, they're watching the film, and things are going good.
They're watching in Norway. You're talking to us from Greece.
Yes.
And there's a whole bunch of...
From Spain.
Oh, from Spain.
Spain.
Sorry. We're not good in geography here. Forgive us. Although we're multilingual. And actually this area here is many Norwegian Americans that live up here in northern Michigan. The thing that did strike us is that after this terrorist incident, that the country didn't go crazy. And the country didn't say, the way to fight these terrorists is for us to have less rights. It always seems to me that they win when we take away our rights voluntarily, when whoever they are, commit an evil crime. Why?
Well, Michael,
Yeah, go ahead.
in Norway it's kind of different, because we have the justice system and we don't have death penalty. So we take the perpetrator to the court system, and we let the court system decide whether to have a life sentence or whatever, and we respect that sentence. And like it's for me, I think it's for a lot of Norwegians. We don't want to kill because we don't want to step down that ladder, as I told you in the movie, and to sink ourselves on the same level as the perpetrator or the mass murderer, as I call it. So I think that's kind of a normal way of thinking, not only in Norway, I think also in Nordic countries like Lina in Finland and Sweden and Denmark. I think it's the same kind of thoughts that we have in the Nordic countries. And for us it's not strange, maybe it's strange for you in the US, but not for us. So we used to think like that, but we're very accurate about that the justice system should decide what kind of a sentence to the kind of terrorist like he had, and we would just respect that.
Yeah, that's just amazing, and it's something I think many in the theater here wish we would aspire to, and then to be reminded by the Norwegian warden that we were the first to write into a constitution that there'd be no cruel or unusual punishment. It's just inspiring to listen to you, and our hearts, all of us, they all go out to you and your family and the others who suffered as a result of that. But what an inspiration. Thank you, Trond.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
I just thought our audience also might like to know that in addition to Tron joining us, we had asked the wardens, either of the wardens, if they'd also like to join us for this conversation. And both of them told us the exact same thing. We and our staff are going on vacation.
It was hard to pull this off because most of these countries are on 5-week paid vacations.
It's true. It's true. Johnny and Christina are leaving today on vacation. That's why they're not with us. But no, and then they said the inmates are going to be minded by students in our absence.
Speaking of students, hello Finland. Megan and Lita, how are you? Hello. It's good to see you. We can all see you here in Traverse City, Michigan, and we can hear you. I've seen this film many times with an American audience, and there's one time that many people tear up. Actually, tears come to their eyes, and we didn't expect this in the edit room. It's when they hear the teachers and the students talk in Finland, because it is so 180 degrees the opposite of what we have here. And as parents, you just sit there and you think, oh my God, my kids have been cheated here. And they have to live through this stress. And anybody who's got teenagers, they're up till 11 o'clock at midnight doing homework. And 8-year-olds have backpacks with 40 pounds of books in them. It's just nonsense, isn't it? It's just, you not only pay them as professionals, you treat them with respect as professionals. Teachers are beloved in your country. I saw a poll that when they asked teenagers, who would you like to marry when you grow up? You know, like what profession would be nice for your spouse to have? Doctor was number one, but number two was teacher. The number two answer was, I hope I can marry a school teacher. I mean, it's in the culture there that teachers are just admired and respected. And sadly, in many ways here, they're vilified. And there's a particular political party that has them as public enemy number one. After the terrorists, of course. But it's not right, teachers? It's like terrorists, then teachers. Tell me, how did that happen to where in your culture teachers were suddenly respected in that way?
Well, after the World War II, for instance, we didn't have much of anything else than the education. So Finland was a poor country, and then eventually this comprehensive education started in 1970s, and teachers started to have the education as up to the master's level. So actually every single teacher in Finland who's a qualified class teacher or a subject teacher, they have master's diploma in their own area.
Is it also true? I read somewhere that to be a teacher, you have to graduate. I mean, you have to do really well. You have to have in college. You have to be, in the top half of your class or whatever. You hire teachers that you want to have the best teachers there. I mean, how does that work?
I mean, that's true to an extent. The academic side is really important, but for me, for example, getting my US certification in Finland, they're looking also for social things and how you interact with people and can you keep calm in certain situations. So I had to spend a lot of time.
Can you keep calm? Not can you keep the classroom calm? They're not looking for your disciplinary abilities, right?
Different kinds of situations. So you're being observed, you're being put in different situations to make sure that you're a good fit.
And do you notice the difference of how you're respected there as a teacher than when you taught here in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, not just the respect, but something, I guess I've started to take it for granted because I have so much freedom to plan my lessons depending on what is appropriate for my students, what they want to do. And I had an intern, I also do some teacher mentoring, and there was a student from the United States who was doing her teacher training practice. And she came to our school and, I was like, okay, so here you go. Just let me know what you want to do. Here's the curriculum. And she really freaked out that, where's the script? Like, what do I do now? From this hour to this hour, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. And it was like, well, no, not exactly whatever you want, but what are your ideas? What do you like? What do you want to do? What is your passion? And it was just really way too much in a way because she was used to, from this hour to this hour, these 15 minutes, you have to give these instructions, then you have to do this, then you have to, really prescriptive stuff. And yeah.
Wow, yeah. When I was there, was it true that, yeah, when you...
It creativity with the kids.
Right. It seemed like after each class hour, whatever was over, there was recess, like 15 minutes of where the kids could just go out and run around and play or whatever. Do I have my memory correct on that?
Yeah, actually by the law, the lesson is 60 minutes, out of which 45 minutes you have to teach. So this 15-minute break is kind of an optional choice for the teacher to decide that, okay, I don't teach anymore, but now there's a time for recess, for play, for doing something different, going out. Usually we actually tell the kids to go out.
Yeah.
There was recess after every class.
They go out.
I think we need that as adults too.
Yeah, right. Well, boy, we loved Finland. Amazing place. We all want to come back there. After November, we may come back for a longer period. No, I'm just kidding. We have to stay here. Indra, in Germany, the gasp in the audience here when I said that you can go to your doctor and your doctor can write a prescription for you to get a stay at the spa. Go ahead and tell them that that's not really true. I just made it up.
No, I'm sorry. It's no joke. You get a prescription if you need a holiday.
Okay, so we're still processing that here, but I didn't see you at the end of your stay there at the spa. But I assume that you went home and were feeling good, and it was a great break.
Yeah, it was a very good time, and it helped a lot to calm down, to improve the relationship to my child. It was a spa for parents and children, and yeah, we used the time to relax and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, it was really, the whole time in Germany was incredible. How did you feel about how we handled the thing that I wanted to say about what we noticed about what the German kids are taught about the Holocaust, and how Germany has dealt with it and continues to deal with it and feels this sense that it must still be dealt with?
Well, this part of our history is a very dark part, and it's important to know where we come from to understand where we go to. If we want to understand our life right now, we have to know about the things that happened in the past. And I guess no one is proud of being a German when we take a look to this part of our history.
Well, why is it that Germans of your age, Germans who are not even alive during World War II, feel this sense of responsibility? Because I got to tell you, I don't run into many Americans who believe they're responsible for slavery or the results of slavery, or to help people because they're the descendants of slaves in this country. Where do you get it in your head that you have to do anything about something that you yourself personally didn't participate in?
Well, we got it in school. Each year we got it in different science, and we visit these places. So I've been to many concentration camps, and just being there as the Pope is right now in Auschwitz, you have to go there and you have to feel this surrounding, and it touches you and it makes you think different about the history and about the gifts we have right now. We can live in freedom, we can go on spa, everybody is free to live his religious thing, and it's a great gift to live in peaceful times without war.
Well, speaking of, yes. Speaking of war, Indra, when we turned the cameras off, you said something off camera, and you later told Carl that you wish you'd said it on camera. And I got this a lot from our friend in Tunisia and the Finns and the Slovenians. People did not want to say bad things about America or hurt our feelings. But I thought what you said was very profound, and if you want to share it with this audience, you said something to the effect of how we prioritize things, because I was asking, why don't we have the things you have? Why don't we have the money for universal health care and to go to the spa as a prescription and work a 36-hour week if that's the job you have, or any of these things that you have, and I'll just let you say it if you want to say it now. If you don't want to say it, but I can tell you that this audience will not be offended. I can speak, I think, on behalf of them, and they would love to hear you speak honestly to Americans about your hopes for us.
Well, my hope is that you learn to open your hearts again and to put all this crazy gun stuff down, because giving children guns is not the way a society should work.
And you say that even though, you've been so generous in taking in refugees in Germany from the Middle East, from a crisis that we had a huge hand in creating. And we tore up the political and religious infrastructure of that part of the world. Yet you're taking in 1 million people who are homeless as a result of our actions in part. And I'm just curious, and yet now you are suffering through this last few weeks. These acts of terror. What's the mood in Germany? What's the feeling here? Do you still want to be kind and generous, or is there a different mood sweeping the country?
Well, I cannot speak for my country. I know that a lot of people think that there are too much refugees. I can only speak from my village I live in. We are 800 people here, and we have 17 families of refugees. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter what kind of color your skin is or what kind of religion you live. We are all human beings, and I have a respect for all the refugees who took this long way across the Mediterranean Sea by boat. They were walking all the thousands of kilometers to improve their life. And I think these people need our help.
Wow. We have people in the audience here who would like to ask you questions. So I'm going to open it up to them. And is Amel's sound fixed? Is her sound fixed? Okay. Why don't you think about what you'd like to ask people here in these other countries? And Amel, the microphone is now fixed, and please feel free to talk. Slovenia, where are we? Slovenia, Slovakia, where are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to America.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great here.
Thank you for being part of the film and being part of this here today. Actually, why don't Slovenia? We went there because of the free college. We didn't go to Sweden because you'd expect that for why they get to go to college for free, or other places. We thought we'd pick a country that wasn't wealthy, didn't have oil, And yet they still find a way to make sure that their students are not in debt when they're 22 years old. Why don't we, does anybody have a question for Slovenia? We could start there. How are you, by the way?
I'm okay. I'm feeling okay. Thank you. How are
Okay,
you?
I'm well, thank you. And she's part of one of the students the student group that literally brought down the government. They had to have a new election. 40 students.
Okay, if I may jump in.
She won't take it. She won't take
the
it.
government.
Yes.
Our protest against the law that was being proposed in the Parliament on higher education. The protest against that law was one of the things that probably helped a little bit in bringing the government down, but it wasn't us the main actor.
We understand. We're all, those of us.
Because of everything they've done. But what I wanted to say as well is that bringing higher education in Slovenia, it's not, I mean, it is free for now, but it's being attacked all the time. And the thing is that we have to protect the right to have a free higher education all the time. And that's why us students here in Slovenia organize in a student organization, and when the government wanted to propose scholarships, student fees, sorry, we protested against that, and we fought for the right to have a free education. So that's also the message that we want to send to the American students. You can, at least, I don't know, for starters, maybe lower your student fees by starting to organize. You have a great environment to do that. You have student campuses. This is perfect for students to start organizing and to just to start working to have a free higher education. You have to do it yourselves. Your government won't do it for you.
The one thing we found in all the countries and the people we interviewed is that they're very humble. And anytime we would compliment them, they would point out how, there's many things, many other people, it's not just us. It's a very,
every single place that we went to, we were taken care of like we were family. I've never experienced anything like that. My own family's very generous, but they wouldn't a lot of places, they wouldn't even let us pay for our meals. And we were traveling with 15 people. With the local fixers, and especially in Italy. Italy gave us the warmest reception. It was, we couldn't say no to everything that they were trying to put in front of us, because they just kept on piling.
We were trying to beat back their kindness because we were trying to get the movie made.
Yeah, it made my job easier because I didn't have to worry about feeding anybody.
So, questions from the audience to our friends in Slovenia, Tunisia, Norway, Finland, and Germany. Who'd like to go first? I can't see all the lights here. Yes, right here. Yes.
It's a question so much as an observation that what all of these people are talking about and what the film is about, I think, is humanity. The reason that all these things work in these other countries and could work here is that all these people recognize our common humanity. They talked about recognizing the dignity of prisoners. You're talking about the dignity of teachers. You're talking about the dignity of society. If everyone recognizes everyone else's dignity and humanity, the world will get along. And that's what's missing in this country. The corporate mentality that seems to focus on profit above all else is what prevents us from recognizing that dignity and working together. At least I think that's what this film is about and what these people are talking about.
It is, and I think you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. We were very moved by the Portuguese police when they said that too, about the human dignity. To hear police officers say that. Yeah, and then you just said it as an American, so thank you. He just said he's a retired police officer, and you just said that. Wow, thank you for saying that. We We have a question from the Norwegian. Yes. Oh, okay, all right. This is Amel from Tunisia via Carl's iPhone.
Okay, Amel. Speak up.
Hi.
Okay, we thought we'd try that. The interference is,
That's too great, huh?
yeah.
No. Huh?
Okay.
What do you think? Can you tell them what it is, or? Mel, they're saying here, you can hear us and we can see you, and there's just a problem with the sound on your computer that's somehow muted or not hooked up in some way. So we'll give you a few more minutes and we'll take a couple more questions. We have a question here from someone in the Norwegian audience. Your movie gives me an impression of the U.S. And it gives a mean impression of the U.S. I don't want to visit. Do you think things can change? Well, we have a lot of problems here, I would say, and we have 47 million Americans who live in poverty. There are 330 million guns in people's homes. That's more than actually it's equal to the population, 1 gun per person on average. 40 million of our citizens cannot read and write above 4th grade level, 5th grade level. It's really a nice place and we wouldn't want to live anywhere else. That's right, right? No, we really like it here, and we've learned to adjust. And if you came to Traverse City, Michigan, you would find that it's not a mean place, and people are very friendly. And I think you should visit the U.S. And if you want to keep your visit not mean, my general recommendation to foreigners is if you travel the U.S., the part that hugs Canada, it's kind of Canadian light. So people are polite. A lot of people don't lock their doors. So start in Burlington, make your way through Traverse City, end up in Seattle, and you'll have a great time. That's it. And what? And there are no walls between Canada and the U.S. That's right. Who's got the next question here at the State Theater? Yes, right over here, sir. And I'll get back to you in the back. Yes.
Yeah, I was interested in what these folks in the other countries would have had to say about the American culture being imported over there. I saw one quick shot where there was a McDonald's sign in one of the cities, but I wonder about the effects of American television, American film, the corporate reach into these countries, and is that being absorbed? Is it just treated as amusement? Is it infiltrating their culture in any way?
That's a good question. I know when we checked into our hotel the first night in Germany, we all watched 2.5 Men in German, dubbed in Charlie Sheen speaking German. So, yeah, sorry to out the Germans on the crappy TV that you show from the U.S. But does any of you want to take that, Indra or Lena, Trond, anybody? The influence of American culture and how much is it permeating your culture, and is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't know, maybe as an American, my viewpoint is a bit biased. When I first came to Finland, there was, American film and American TV, but also there's British independent film that's very popular here. And Finns have their own arts and their own culture that is better and they respect. And And so I would say it's kind of far away, the United States, the culture. Maybe young people want to go and visit there. You know, there's the reality shows, but I would say there's a very strong culture here that people are proud of.
Anybody else want to take that?
Maybe I could sorry.
I will go to Slovenia. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that what scares me more than the influence of American culture is the influence of American corporations and American politics that all of us feel in all other parts of the world. Because of the way economics the way economics works and the way politics works, I think that's where the America has bigger influence, and that all of us should worry about that part more than about the cultural. Because as our friends from Finland already said, all of us have our own cultures that we cherish, and we teach children about our cultures in school. And when American culture comes, it's just, you know, we take some, we skip some, but it's not the cultural effects that I'm worried about. It's, as I said, the corporations, the banks, and politics.
Right. Yeah, people applauded you here when you said that. And Trond in Norway, Trond, I think you had something to say about this. Did we lose him here? No. No. Okay. Okay. All right. And I think let's try a Mel again on the iPhone, but then if they just turn off their audio from us and she just listens to me through your iPhone, I think that's going to work. We have a question again from someone in the Norwegian audience. What are the odds that the American middle class will get free higher education if Hillary Clinton is elected president? Anybody have the answer to that? Anybody have an in with Hillary that knows the answer? So one man in the audience is answering you in Norway by saying it will take longer than 2 terms of Hillary before we have free tuition in our colleges. What a buzzkill. You have to have the movement, yeah, the revolution, right? I know I think that's a difference between people who voted for Hillary and voted for Bernie, maybe, that the pragmatists, you know, who believe that this takes a long time and there's all the reasons why it won't happen and we have to fight it. No, and then there's the other side that says, you know, somebody was talking the other day at one of the screenings and how there was one woman at the Swedish Film Institute 2 years ago who looked at this and said, there's hardly any films being made by Swedish women, we have to fix this. 2 years later, 40% of the films being made in Sweden are made by women. 2 years later, it went from hardly any to this. So we just were all talking about this, that, like Rod said in the film, sometimes it is as simple as just saying, fuck it, let's do it, you know? And if the pragmatists say there's no money, well, then cut the Pentagon budget by 10%. And maybe we'd have some money for some other things. That's just my opinion, though.
I think this is all really doable, too. I mean, the people my age remember we had friends that went to a college in California for free. The whole public college system of a state with a population the size of Canada gave everybody free education for college. And I don't think I hope it shouldn't take 8 years to do something like that. We build giant programs within only a few years. The billions are spent on Star Wars, and I'm not sure where that went.
We made this film because we believe, yes, all of this can happen, and it doesn't. We don't have to wait 10 years for a lot of this. And again, remember, 10 years, 11 years ago, this state outlawed, made it a felony to marry someone of your own gender. It was a crime, and we put it in our Constitution. We just didn't pass a law in Michigan. We put it in our Constitution. You remember that night? And 11 years later, gone. Boom. You know, but I was one who thought, well, I'll never see that in my lifetime. It's gone. It doesn't have to be that way. Things can change. We have a question from the audience from Dijon in Slovenia, who's watching it right now, watching us. Europe has had now 1.2 million immigrants in 2015, mostly from Syria. How many Americans will immigrate to Europe due to your movie?
I think many of our crew members wanted to stay there after we were filming, but...
Yes, but we wouldn't let them, and no American is leaving. So don't build a wall. Well, we'll build a wall to keep you here, because you have to stay and fix this, right? And if the election goes south, and I don't mean that in a compass term, I mean, if a certain person is elected, right? Then we have to, sadly, we have a fight ahead of us, right? So,
Michael, I think we might have a Mel again.
we have a Mel on the phone?
Can you speak up a Mel and see if we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay! Tunisia! Tunisia! All right, go ahead while we still have sound.
Okay, so sorry for the technical issue. Thank you for having us. And let me answer the first question. How is Tunisia? Tunisia is struggling like the whole world. We are facing the same stupidity, terrorism. But I have to tell you, this was the first screening in Tunisia. And it's frustrating for us. Why? Because of the double language. When you decided, to shoot the head of the Islamist Party, Rashid Ghannouchi, I told you that maybe I didn't totally agree because he's got a double language. And as you know, homosexuals' rights in Tunisia are punished by law, and he said exactly the opposite. So it's frustrating, the political language, this double language. But we are very proud of what we did. But there's a long, long way to go. We have economical problems, social problems, but we keep our hands up, and we have good hope that we will make it.
Yes, I think that's a very good point you made, that the conservative Islamist Party guy, while he said those things, the anti-gay laws are still on the books. But again, you're a young country in the sense that you've just had democracy for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
So you have a ways to go to fix the things.
Yes, of course. We have, as I told you, a long way to go. But as you said,
It only took us 240 years to get our anti-gay laws off the books here, so we expect yours to off next year.
there's a big change. I don't know if you know this. You admire women all over the world, and I can't help noticing in Slovenia, behind Mojca, your name is Micaela Bora, so you're a woman now. You are, Micaela. Good job.
All men have some level of estrogen in us. Just a scientific fact, that's all I'm saying.
And many women have both.
Maybe I'll... And yes, and you have testosterone. Yes, this is correct. Well, it's we're very grateful to your help with this movie, and Amel has become a real face of this movie around the world. It's what you say every time you say it gets huge applause, and no matter where we show this anywhere in the world. So you've been a real inspiration for what you've done. And we thank you for that. So, we're going to have to wrap this up because we have another film we have to get in here, and you probably want to go catch the second half of the 3 o'clock film that you had tickets for. You can redeem your tickets for cash on the lobby. No, I'm kidding. Deb just had a cardiac. We have time for one more quick question from the Americans. Anybody up here? Yes. Go ahead, sir. In the brown shirt, yes. Microphone right there.
Thank you. You say you've done this movie in 3 weeks.
We prepared it in 3 weeks, yes. Filmed it in 5.
Over the years, I've seen every one of your movies. In my opinion, you've been preparing for this movie all your life. This movie is a culmination of everything you've done, and I think it's the best one so far. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for, that's probably very true, and I'm very fortunate to have a group of people, many of which I've worked with for almost 20 years now, who brought me these films, and you're probably right, that's how it felt to us when we were making it, I think, right? And that's why we're going to go on and make romantic comedies now, because we've said everything we've got to say in the documentaries. Oh, they laugh. The people from Italy have been on vacation since May, but they were watching it here tonight. But the people that are in the film are spread across the world right now, enjoying themselves and doing the thing that humans love to do. So I really want to thank all of you who joined us from these countries: Tron, Indra, Megan, Lena, Amel, my good friend from Slovenia, the students. Let's hear it from the students in Slovenia. It's been a powerful moment to sit here with you and on the stage that we live to have to see the technology that we were able to have this global conversation and watch the film at the exact same time is just an incredible thing. We're doing our best to make sure as many Americans as possible can see this film. We thank you for your inspiration, and thank you for reminding us of who we really are at our heart and at our core, and how so many of these ideas originated here. Progressive education, many of the ideas that you just went and did, and we were doing or tried to do, and then gave up on. And hopefully we'll have an Equal Rights Amendment under a new administration. So thank you from all these countries who are watching, from all the audiences around the world who are watching this online, and thank you here to the people of Traverse City, from all of us who made this film. Thank you for being part of this very special event. It was wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And a big thank you to them.